trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now.
Tonight, fallout from a Southern California vice mayor's explosive TikTok post. Some people think it encouraged violence against federal agents. Good evening and welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Christina Rendon. Cudahy Vice Mayor Cristina Gonzalez is breaking her silence after facing backlash over that social media post about immigration. Here's a look at more of what showed up on her TikTok account.
You're all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Torrance, and you guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there ain't a peep out of you.
Fox News obtained that now deleted TikTok post made by Vice Mayor Gonzalez. Some people believed it called on gang members to defend their streets from federal agents. Gonzalez's attorney issued a statement today saying Gonzalez, quote, called upon her local community to exercise their First Amendment rights to free speech and assembly to express their views on recent ICE enforcement actions, end quote. The statement does go on to say that Dr. Gonzalez in no way encouraged anyone to engage in violence. Any suggestion that she advocated for violence is categorically false and without merit. Gonzalez has confirmed through social media posts that she is now under federal investigation. The FBI will not confirm nor deny whether there's an investigation underway, but the Department of Homeland Security has condemned her comments. It issued a statement saying, in part, this kind of garbage has led to a more than 500% increase in assaults against our ICE law enforcement officers. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has been clear. If you assault a federal officer, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Cudahy is one of two Southern California cities that have canceled official 4th of July celebrations over recent tensions in Southern California. The other city is Bell Gardens. Both of those communities are in close proximity to each other and southeast of Los Angeles.
Move out of the way.
Protesters clashed with federal agents outside the Federal Immigration Building in San Francisco today. A small group here tried to stand in front of federal vehicles as Department of Homeland Security and ICE officers warned them to stand back. Protesters here say they were not being violent and were out voicing their opinions when agents began shoving them off of the sidewalk. These demonstrations say that the demonstrators say they came out after hearing ICE had detained immigrants in Concord and was transporting them to the Federal Immigration Building.
The Bay Area was built by immigrants, and it still is like the lifeblood of this city is immigrants. And so it's really frustrating to see all over the country that they're just taking people off the streets, and they want to say that there's nothing we can do about it, but I think the people showed here today that we can at least associate a cost with it, that every time that they do this, there's going to be people out on the streets opposing it, and that we're not just going to accept it sitting down.
KTVU has reached out to DHS for a comment, but has not yet heard back. Another $309 million is being pumped into a border wall construction project in Arizona. U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reached a contract agreement with a builder to install another 27 miles of barriers. This wall will be built in the Tucson sector of the border. It's the second wall construction contract awarded in recent months. The Department of Defense is expanding a militarized zone along the southern border. The military strategy was pioneered in April along a 170-mile stretch of the border in New Mexico. It expanded to a small area along the Texas border in May, and now it's expanding further into Texas. U.S. troops working in these areas are authorized to detain people who enter the U.S. illegally. Anyone detained can face federal prosecution on charges of trespassing in a national defense area. The new area being militarized will be treated as an extension of Joint Base San Antonio. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced new visa restrictions targeting the, quote, family members and close personal and business associates of drug traffickers. The move expands on previous visa sanctions aimed at traffickers with the goal of further deterring them from moving drugs across the border.
We will continue to use all necessary tools to deter and dismantle the flow of fentanyl and other deadly drugs from entering our country.
According to the State Department, fentanyl is the leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 44. Today, federal prosecutors told a judge they will deport a man who's become a symbol of President Trump's immigration enforcement crackdown to a third country if he's released from a Tennessee jail. This is to a country other than El Salvador. The plan comes after a hearing where a judge was set to lay out terms of Kilmer Abrigo Garcia's release. Instead, a new ruling keeps him in custody to give attorneys more time to ensure he doesn't get deported before his criminal trial. A federal prosecutor says the removal was not imminent and a hearing on this is scheduled for July 7th. Look for extensive coverage of the country's immigration debate on westcoastwrap.com. Our online coverage includes a look ahead at a ruling we expect from the U.S. Supreme Court tomorrow. The case involves President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. A major ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court today. In a 6-3 decision, the High Court upholds South Carolina's ban on Medicaid funding for health care services at Planned Parenthood. KTVU's Jesse Gary reports.
You've just got a huge piece of the healthcare access safety net that's just gone.
Thursday, the U.S. Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, finds a 2018 South Carolina ban on using federal Medicaid funds for procedures at Planned Parenthood can stand.
This is atrocious. I was beside myself when I heard of this ruling.
Critics charge eliminating Medicaid funding from the Planned Parenthood business model will cripple its ability to serve those most in need.
If you're having an emergency, a healthcare emergency, and your primary or only source of healthcare was Planned Parenthood, now what's your next source? The emergency room.
In a posted statement, Planned Parenthood's CEO says this latest ruling is yet another move by the Supreme Court's anti-abortion majority to deny people essential health care and punish abortion providers simply for providing this care. Free choice of provider under Medicaid means nothing if an individual's qualified provider of choice cannot serve them, just as reproductive freedom means nothing without reproductive health access. There are concerns the High Court's ruling could be seen by other states as a green light to block or stop funding for Planned Parenthood. That could push more people to California at a time when Governor Gavin Newsom and the legislature are struggling to make funding cuts to this state's budget.
There are cuts proposed to Planned Parenthood that he has proposed. We'll see tomorrow and Monday exactly how the legislature responds to those.
Lawmakers have until Monday to create a balanced budget that will protect the level of care offered by Planned Parenthood, and then brace for fallout from federal cuts as the impacts from Donald Trump's second term in office continue spreading.
And it just goes on and on and on. And we cannot have this.
Legislators will present the governor with options to the cuts he's proposing. They'll do that on Monday. State Senator Dave Cortese from down here in the South Bay is floating the idea of perhaps a new state tax on some of the largest corporations in California so that they can help bridge the funding gap. In the Rose Garden section of San Jose, Jesse Gary, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
The Trump administration briefed senators today on the U.S. airstrikes against Iran's nuclear sites. This comes as the 12-day war between Israel and Iran came to an end. When senators weighed in after the briefing, some Republicans condemned the administration's strikes, while Democrats blasted the White House for its lack of transparency.
So, without any classified information whatsoever, I think it's safe to say that we have struck a major blow alongside our friends in Israel against Iran's nuclear program that is going to make America safer, our friends in the region safer, and protect the world from the risk of an Iranian nuclear weapon.
What was clear is that there was no coherent strategy, no end game, no plan, no specific, no detailed plan on how Iran does not attain a nuclear weapon.
The briefing was scheduled for Tuesday, but the White House postponed it, fueling Democratic complaints that the Trump administration is stonewalling Congress over military action the president authorized without congressional approval. A small Pacific Northwest coffee company is going up against a corporate giant. Coming up, the problem Nestle has with its operation.
We're in Seattle, a current temperature of 60 degrees, some measurable rainfall over the past 24 hours for this part of the West Coast. We'll have the forecast update coming up.
And a Trump administration funding cuts. Some people here in the LGBTQ plus community say they cannot afford tonight. Why they say this is a life or death matter. Today, hundreds of people showed up to pay respects to a Southern California police officer who died in the line of duty. Baldwin Park officer 35-year-old Samuel Retos was shot and killed last month. Retos had been with the police department for 9 months. During today's service, his older sister spoke about him.
We feel so blessed to have had such a special soul as part of our family. He had a gift that allowed him to discern good hearts. He gravitated to those he found worthy and turned friends into his chosen family. There's no way for us to convey to you the emptiness and heartache that we feel at the loss of our beloved Sammy.
A private burial followed the memorial. The suspect in Officer Retos' death is facing murder charges. Advocates are expressing concern over the Trump administration's decision to cut suicide hotlines specifically meant for LGBTQ+ youth. Starting July 17th, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline's Press 3 option will be discontinued. That option is specifically for queer youth who are in crisis and redirects callers to counselors specifically trained to handle those cases. Since 988 launched in 2022, more than 3 million calls have been redirected to that line. But after July 17th, those calls will instead be directed to local crisis centers. LGBTQ+ advocates say the 3 line has been a life-saving tool.
Population really benefits from having this population-specific line, and it makes LGBTQ youth more comfortable calling, knowing they'll reach someone who they don't have to explain their identity, and they don't have to worry about whether this other person on the line happens to respect their identity or not.
LGBTQ+ youth are disproportionately at risk of committing suicide, with 39% saying they have seriously considered or attempting it. The National Health Crisis Hotline is still available. If you or someone you know is struggling, you can call 988 for help. The hotline does operate 24 hours a day. A small coffee company based in Seattle is fighting against Nestle, which is suing the local shop for trademark violation. Fox's Nia Wong takes us through this lawsuit and how Seattle Strong Coffee Company is handling it.
In the heart of America's coffee capital.
We're, true Seattle coffee.
Evan Aflin spends his days canning up cold brew.
We're roasted in Seattle, we're brewed in Seattle. Everything is actually done in Seattle.
Since founding Seattle Strong Coffee Company for a class project at the University of Washington back in 2017.
We are in probably about 350 grocery stores, mostly in the Pacific Northwest.
But Aflin's small American business is up against a major European competitor.
You trade on the Seattle name in coffee, you can't prevent others from trading on the name of Seattle.
In this petition filed by Nestle back in April, the multinational company is trying to get Seattle Strong to drop its name, saying Seattle Strong is too similar to their product, Seattle's Best Coffee, which Nestle bought from Starbucks several years ago. It claims consumers will likely be confused, mistaken, or deceived.
And the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office says we earned Seattle Strong, and we want to keep it. We're not going to just roll over because they want us to.
Seattle Strong responded to Nestle's petition, accusing the Swiss company of trying to, quote, bully a small local coffee company from Seattle. Nestle has not responded to Fox 13's request for comment.
I think it's ridiculous. I think they want to crush us before we can get there and really compete with them.
Nestle owns more than 2,000 brands around the world.
We're going to stand strong, but we definitely would appreciate the support of Seattle.
In Seattle, Nia Wong, Fox 13 News.
Seattle Strong has set up a GoFundMe campaign to help them cover legal costs of fighting for that trademark.
Well, quick update on the weather. We're still talking about some heat, especially when it's normal for this time of year in Arizona. You can see the highs from today, 102 in Tucson, Las Vegas, 102 degrees. Up in Northern California, you can see some warm to hot temperatures, especially up toward Redding, up in the upper 90s, 98 degrees. So as we check out the maps right now, we are showing you once again in Arizona, they're already tracking another heat up into next week. As we come in closer here from Maricopa County, this is an excessive heat, extreme heat watch. This begins Sunday morning right on through Tuesday, and we could be talking about temperatures between about 110 to 115 degrees. So the heat will be building back into that area early next week. Las Vegas right now, 100 degrees. Reno, a warm evening, 84 degrees, Reno, Nevada. And then Seattle right now checking in 60 degrees. As we show you this on the satellite, that we have the typical summertime low clouds and fog for the California coast. A few extra clouds up in Portland and Seattle, all this cloud cover, and some green showing up on the radar as well. So they actually had some measurable rainfall showing up in Seattle today, 0.08. You can see on the cloud cover, 66 degrees. In the San Francisco Bay Area, the clouds clearing back to near the shoreline, 66 in the Bay Area. And then, of course, the heat once again each and every day in the summertime. We're talking about triple digits, it seems like. Phoenix, 105 degrees. And once again, that heat will be building in to that area early next week. So here's the plan for tomorrow. Seattle, lots of clouds in their forecast for your Friday, with the possibility of a few showers. More clouds increasing in the Denver area. A mild day for San Francisco. Temperatures close to 70 degrees. Warm in Southern California, and of course the hot weather pattern out toward southern Nevada into Arizona. Here's the forecast model once again, showing you the clouds and the possibility of some scattered rain showers up in Seattle. For the Bay Area, clearing skies, that cloud cover back to near the shoreline, and pretty much the same story down in Southern California for your Friday. So more cities for Olympia, Concord in the Bay Area, 94, Santa Clarita, lower 90s, and Tucson, Arizona, tomorrow forecast high of 103 degrees. Here you can see temperatures do warm up in the Seattle area this weekend, lots of 70s. For the Bay Area, San Francisco, at least clouds in the morning, becoming partly cloudy into the afternoon hours. A bunch of 80s for Los Angeles. We talked about the heat in Phoenix, and that you can see temperatures definitely building. 113 degrees by Sunday, and that warm up, the extreme heat, will be a factor into early next week. Christina.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Portland's new WNBA expansion team has surpassed 10,000 season ticket deposits with more than a year left before the inaugural season tip-off. That team is on pace to break previous WNBA records for ticket interest currently held by the Golden State Valkyries. The Portland team will have its first season in 2026 with home games scheduled at the Moda Center. The team name and logo will be revealed next month. On the second day of this year's NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers made their single pick of the year. Late today, they made a move to bring in Arkansas's Adu Thoreau. The forward is known for his strong defense and ability to drive to the basket. As far as the Golden State Warriors, they have 2 picks to make tonight. They just picked up Alex Tuhey just minutes ago with the 52nd pick. We will say that this team did not have a pick in the first round. You might remember they traded it to the Miami Heat for Jimmy Butler. The Warriors have not given any indication as who they'll have for their second pick tonight. The Sacramento Kings are bringing in Stanford forward Maxine Renaud. They made that selection about an hour ago. And last night, the Kings got Colorado State's Nico Clifford. The guard was traded to the team after being picked up by the Oklahoma City Thunder. The LA Clippers picked up Kobe Sanders from the University of Nevada just minutes ago. He is a guard. Last night, the team selected Yannick Conan Niederhauser, and that made him Penn State's first ever first-round draft pick. He plays center. There's plenty of draft action in the West for teams outside of California. The Utah Jazz just picked up Florida State forward Jameer Watkins. Last night, the Jazz got Rutgers forward Aurorius Ace Bailey. Bailey said he didn't know that the Jazz were planning to select him, and most of what he knows about Utah is the state's potential for weather extremes. He's going to like it. The Suns drafted guard Kobe Bray from University of Kentucky late today. Last night, they got Kamen Maluach, the center who played for Duke, is just 18 years old. He became known for his intensity and mentality.
I'm excited to put on a Phoenix jersey that has my name, that has Maluach at the back, and I'm just excited to play for the Suns and step on the floor.
Last night, the Suns also got Mark Williams in a trade with the Hornets. The Portland Trail Blazers don't have any more picks in the draft. Last night, the team got Yang Hansen in a trade with the Memphis Grizzlies. The trade also got the Trail Blazers a 2028 first-round draft pick and 2 future second-round draft picks. In exchange, the Trail Blazers gave up their official selection of last night, Cedric Coward out of Washington State. The Denver Nuggets are the only team with no draft picks this year. The team traded its pick in 2021 to get Aaron Gordon from Orlando. A new sign of Southern California rebounding from January's wildfires. Coming up, see more of what was picked up on video in Altadena. And we'll take you to an unconventional summer camp teaching girls life skills in the West.
Learn electrical, framing, and roofing right now. I think roofing is starting to be my favorite.
Prosecutors spent hours today wrapping up their closing arguments in the federal sex trafficking trial against Sean Diddy Combs. They accused the music mogul of running a criminal enterprise, sometimes using his employees to commit arson, kidnapping, bribery, and sex trafficking. Much of this case centers around Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and another who went by the alias Jane. 34 witnesses were called to the stand, some of them under subpoena. Prosecutors say fear and intimidation allowed Combs to abuse the women for years, subjecting them to the now infamous hotel sex marathons called freak-offs. Despite the 5-hour presentation, prosecution says this is a simple case.
They said, look, you don't have to feel like every single freak-off that occurred over the years was a situation where Diddy coerced the women, whether it be Cassie or Jane or anybody else. All it takes is one time, one instance of coercion, and that's it. And he is guilty by the letter of the law.
Diddy's defense team called no witnesses and is expected to make their closing arguments tomorrow. The jury will then likely begin deliberations tomorrow or on Monday. An unconventional summer camp in Phoenix is working to teach girls valuable lessons. Fox 10's Desiree Flulellen spoke with some of the girls about what they're learning.
Building it, it's really fun.
Michelle Arroyo is having fun and learning a lot this week with Let's Build Construction Camp for Girls.
I learn electrical, framing, and roofing right now.
This free camp gives teen girls ages 13 to 18 a chance to explore the trades industry.
We do several different trades throughout the week, as well as field trips.
8 girls are here at camp, hosted by Diversified Roofing.
Right now, they're actually nailing down some drip edge.
The underlying opportunity here is to expose some young ladies to an industry that's male-dominated.
And look at this. They get to walk away with the tool bag by the end of camp, and it's got a variety of different items in here, things they'll use whether they get into the trades or not, like a screwdriver and a hammer.
I think roofing is starting to be my favorite.
Desiree Flulellen, Fox News.
The Better Business Bureau is warning business owners about the number and severity of business scams surging nationwide. The scams range from fake invoices to full-blown ransom attacks. According to the Better Business Bureau, companies of all sizes are being targeted, and the damage can be devastating, especially for small business owners. Earlier, we spoke with an expert from the BBB who says the scams are avoidable.
These scams can be preventable if we have the proper training, not only for the actual owner itself, but, tumble it down to your employees. A lot of whether it's a data breach, cybersecurity, or phishing scams do come from lack of training from our employees.
According to BBB, the average data breach cost a company nearly $5 million. And last year alone, data breaches cost businesses a total of $1.4 billion. A sign that wildlife is returning and thriving again after the Eaton fire devastated parts of Altadena. A bear and a coyote were seen emerging from a wooded area. They quickly darted back into the brush. This video was posted on the Altadena Sheriff's Station Facebook earlier this week. The Eaton fire displaced dozens of wild animals. Good to see them having their home return. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on West Coast Wrap. Of course, you can stay up to date on all of the stories we're covering online. Just go to westcoastwrap.com and stream all of our shows on your smart TV by downloading the Fox Local app. Good night.